Screw it, I haven't done a driving vlog in a while. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 16th. It is a, what's today? I believe it is a Tuesday. At least it better be, because I'm heading to Tuesday classes. So let's get on the road, shall we? It's a lovely day out for now. I got a lot of overcast. It was getting a lot of light earlier, because that was this morning's activity, is that, well, other than dropping Sarah off, I actually had to go out and shoot a whole bunch of images for my color photography class, which is in about 2 hours now. A little bit less than that, which is why I need to get down to the train station, because there's a train at 2, and, well, probably a good idea for me to get on that. I could theoretically make the other one. I'd just be, like, absolutely sprinting, like, when I got off, because it gets in at, like, 3:20, I think, basically, and that might have even been on the old schedule, because the new schedule went into effect. So that moved some train times around a little bit and moved my schedules around just a tad, but for the moment this one is still at 2 o'clock, as it was last week. But yeah, so I got some of those images, and I'm really happy with some of them, and the other ones are just kind of meh, okay. But, well, regardless, they're done, so I'll have to take them into class to see what is made of them, because, well, that needs to happen. I also need to figure out what version of Lightroom they're running, because I didn't build the Lightroom cat yet, but I'm gonna have like an hour downtown to do that, because I didn't want to build it on my computer and then have it wind up not working, because, oh, it's a different version of Lightroom, because Lightroom is super, super picky like that. But yeah, so I've got everything ready, so I can dump the photos when I first get there. I don't have a little while, because there's not actually a class before hours at all. So it should not be that bad. Yeah, so it's actually been a pretty peaceful morning so far, and I'm actually really happy about that. It was a nice, relaxing, kind of relaxing day. It's always, I do still enjoy going out and just shooting photos, so it's one of the more enjoyable class assignments I've had. I don't know if I mentioned this already. I definitely think I haven't, because the vlogs have been lacking. And even letting this run will just let my mind think of things that I'm actively doing. But one of the things I'm actually actively doing for nutrition class is I'm tracking what I eat for 3 days, and today is one of those days. So, yeah, it's the last one of the days, because we were supposed to track 1 weekend day and 2 weekdays, and, well, today's the second weekday. Because at the end of that I have to go write a report and things. This person is tailgating me, even though the fact we're running up to yet another red light. I don't really know what this person's problem is. But regardless, I'm off to class right now. I hope you enjoyed the daylight vlog. It's going to snow tonight, so I will see you all later, I guess. Well, that was fun. It's getting pretty cold out here, but that's to be expected, because, well, it's going to snow. Now, the downside to everything snow-related is that the ground is completely frozen, so basically anything that falls is going to stick. There's not really going to be a turnaround time where, you know, things are still going to melt. Nope, probably second it hits the ground, it's going to stick. And the last time I checked, which granted was a couple of days ago, we're expecting like an inch. So not the worst thing in the world, but again, we're going to be feeling that full inch, because it's been so cold recently. Like, legitimately, the Schuylkill River has been frozen for the better part of this past 2 weeks. Yeah, but for the most part, actually, classes were really fun. I enjoyed both of my classes. As opposed to last week, where I didn't really have any idea what I was doing in computer forensics, I actually really kind of understood a lot more what was happening this time around, which is, you know, a good thing when you're trying to go to a class. But that and photography was also pretty fun, because he also really liked my images, which is always a good sign. You know, and I do try to take care of all of that, obviously, even though I did them last minute. And speaking of photography-related things, my new lens should finally be here. I've got to get a new card in the 5D II before I can show you guys it, because it's another 24mm lens, and but this one is actually compatible on the full frame. So I could show you on the T6i, but you probably wouldn't notice a difference, because it's still a 2.8. It's just actually it's an older 24mm 2.8, but it's one nonetheless. It's like the oldest one. It doesn't have any IS or anything like that. It only has manual focus. IS being image stabilization, by the way. But it is compatible with the 5D Mark II, which is nice because it'll allow me to take wider pictures. So that'll be the first really wide lens I have, because the other 24, which is that little itty bitty pancake lens that I've filmed most of the past several days vlog on, it's a good lens, and it's fantastic for the pancake size, but two issues with it is, one, I dropped it at one point, and now the focus ring doesn't work, so I have to rely on autofocus, which is why some of those turn out really shoddy with the focus. And two, it's a crop sensor lens, so it's not designed to fit on a full frame camera, which is fine, because when I bought it I only had the T6i, but now that I have the 5D Mark II, I kind of need a few more lenses my lenses to be compatible with both. And you can put what's called an EF mount lens, which is the lens for the full frame cameras. And long story short, full frame, if you're wondering, is just bigger. It's a bigger image size. But every lens that can go on a full frame can go on a crop, but not the other way around, if that makes any sense. With the T6i being a crop, and the 5D Mark II being a full frame. So every lens that works on the T6i can work on the 5D Mark II, or other way around. Every lens that works on the 5D Mark II can work on the T6i, but not the other way around. So I have two crop lenses. I have the kit lens and that pancake, and they both don't work. Those are the two that are incompatible. Anyway, let's go inside. It's kind of cold.